Hey guys, so to get to live classroom in IXL, once you log into IXL under your teacher account, then you just need to go to the analytics tab and it brings up all these options here. Over to the far right, you'll see the little lightning bolt thing. Click on live classroom and that brings you to this screen right here. You'll see there's a dashboard that comes up right here to give you a quick snapshot of what's happening. So currently I am looking at a classroom here that has 16 students that's logged in. 6 of them are idle. Currently, there's no students that need help. And there's been 8 skills total at the moment that's being practiced. And you just saw that number went from 281 to 282. There went to 283. So those are the questions that's currently in the past hour that has been done. So if I scroll down underneath the live classroom, you'll see that there is actually a live activity tile for every student that is currently logged into IXL in your classroom. It's not all IXL, just your classroom. So you'll see here pretty quickly that you can kind of see exactly here what skill each of your students are working on. You can see the exact SMART score that they're currently at. This student here is at 78, this here is 95, this one is at 67. And remember, the IXL folks say that a SMART score of 80 or above is considered to be proficient, which is good. If a student wants to go for that mastery level, then that's 100. So these students right here have reached the mastery level in their particular skill that they're working on. It also shows you how many questions that they've actually answered in this skill. Oh, that student right there just went to the diagnostic if you saw it. This one here is at 19, 14, 20. I just looked at one earlier that there was a student that reached a SMART score of 100, but it took them like 110 questions to get there. You also see anything here that's kind of in gray, the gray tile, it's really light gray, but the best thing probably is just to look for the little pause button. That means that these particular students right here have been idle for more than 5 minutes is what it is. Who knows why they're idle, what they're doing, if they've walked away from their computer or they're thinking of a question, about a question, and they're working it out. Regardless, that's kind of what's happening there with that. If a student isn't in the diagnostic, you can see that right here. Now, there's nothing that you can actually do in terms of see what question they're working on or which ones they're getting wrong. It does tell you how many questions they've answered to this point. This person here has answered 1. This person's answered 16, 17, so on and so forth. So that's kind of helpful there too. You can, up here in the top right, you can sort by last name or first name. The default is first name. If your students are working on, certain skills that you've recommended, you can group them by skill. That's kind of a neat little feature too, especially if you have, one group that you have assigned to do one particular skill, and you can see all them kind of categorized that way. And if the second group, maybe at a different station or center, is working on maybe this division fact, you could see, if you had 6, 7, 4, 5, 3, whatever, students right there. That's a nice feature that you can do to group everything by skill. If you see the skill right here in the middle that the student is working on, you see this student here, Corbin, has one with a star next to it, and you see as soon as I hover over that, it tells you exactly what that skill is. It says practicing a suggested skill. So that's a skill that you have already assigned to them, whether it be, the day of or that night, or it's been assigned to them for a while, but you at least know that that student's working on something that they should be working on if that's what you are telling them to do. Over here to the left, you see that they're working on Albert Einstein's working on a skill as well. It is not one of the ones that you recommended. It might have come just from the recommendations wall, or it might have come from the diagnostic recommendations. But that's a nice little feature right there that you can see very quickly. If your class of 16 or whatever's on there, you can see how many of the stars are up, which means they're the ones they're supposed to be working on. So if you wanted to see the exact questions that Albert Einstein, is having, or Corbin is having, what you can do is this indicator bar here, again, tells you kind of over the last, 5 questions, which ones he's gotten right in green, which ones he's gotten wrong in red. The blue one here is indicating to you exactly which question that he is currently on. But if you wanted to see the questions, there's 2 things here that you can do. One, you can click anywhere here on the indicator bar or the 15 questions answered. That brings up this quick little log that you can say, hey, there's a current question. And scroll down here, you'll see, hey, here's the last question that they had. They got it right. There was the correct answer. There's what Albert put. This one, oh, they got that wrong. So you can get a chance maybe to see some insight into which questions they got right, which questions they got wrong,
maybe figure out, which ones are giving them the challenge. You scroll down here, it only gives you, again, the last 5 questions they did, but you can see all 15 questions if you'd like to by clicking on that. So that's a quick little window that pops up. To get a little bit more detail, however, you might want to click on this, either the actual Smart Score itself, which as you see there is going to take you to the View Questions log, or the skill itself. Either way, it takes you to the same place. And the reason I'm showing you this is, yes, it does show you the same thing. Here's the current question that they're on. Here's the questions that they got wrong the last couple. But what might be of benefit to you is this right here. It says Show Missed Questions Only. So if you're seeing a student's having a challenging time, maybe you just want to click on that, and then you can see, oh man, so what's happening here? It looks like this question here seems to be pretty simple. I'm not sure what they did there, but oh, these are bigger numbers. Maybe these are bigger numbers. So maybe the student's having a challenging time with bigger numbers. But regardless, I'm showing you a made-up example, but that's something that you can maybe use to your benefit for sure to filter that by just showing you missed questions. If you pull that student, in on a small group, or when they're face-to-face with you, or maybe when you're, over Zoom and you have them in a small group, you can take these same exact questions that they got wrong and you can hide the actual answers. And you can talk to them about, okay, hold on. Looks like you got this question wrong. You put 100. Let's talk through it. So it's kind of nice that you have that option to hide the actual answers as well. That way they don't see it when you're sitting next to them to go over it.
So as you see, I've split my screen here. Over to the right is a picture of a student screen. And over here to the left is I'm logged in under my teacher account in the live classroom. So you see right now the Smart Score 77 matches up with the Smart Score 77. The current question that this student is on is 3 plus 1. And if I go over here to where the blue indicator is and I hover over that, you see it's exactly 3 plus 1. So you watch the Smart Score change over here to the right and at the same time over here to the left when I get this question correct. So it changed it to 80. Over here it changes it to 80. So if you're wondering how real time is it, it's pretty real time.
Over here on the right, I have a made-up student. It is Albert Einstein. Over here to the left, I am in my teacher dashboard, student activity wall for live classroom. You see right now a student, Corbin Motter, is working in Albert Einstein, as you see over here to the right. One thing I do want you to notice is Corbin right now, if you notice his little indicator bar down here, he has 3 questions out of the last 5 that he's done that he got incorrect. That is why it shows up here as student may need help, and that's why the activity tile is red and there's a little exclamation point in the triangle here. So anytime a student either gets 3 in a row wrong, or it doesn't really matter if they're in a row, it's if of the last 5 questions they've done, if they've gotten 3 wrong, it will indicate to you, the student might need help. Over here, notice good old Albie Einstein only got 1 wrong in his last 6 questions. 5 questions he's done. That's why he's not in the I need help status at the moment. So what I do want to show you though is this live messaging feature that I think that you guys would really be able to take advantage of. So if there's ever at a point where you want to communicate with the student when you're sitting at home and they're at home, or they're in class or whatever, and you want to communicate through the IXL system, what you have to do is very simple. Wherever you see this little, which is always the same spot, the little blue airplane icon, you would just click on that and it would send a message to that student and they would see it and they could respond back to you. Now they can't type anything back, which you'll see here shortly, but they can respond to you. Now I do want you to notice Corbin already has a particular airplane that looks like it's already been sent. It's flying, and that's because there already has been a message sent to him. Albert has not had any messages sent to him. That's why his paper airplane's still in the I'm ready to fly phase. So if I clicked on this, what you're going to see then is a message window that I can type in whatever message I want. I also can take advantage of the 9 prescribed already whatever written responses that you can send to Albert. If you want to just say, hey, here it is, way to stick with it, I'll send it. If you notice over here to the right, on the right screen, it pops up right there, hey, way to stick with it. And Albert, again, can't type back to you, but what he can do is either give you a check or a smiley face. He can put a question like, I'm not sure what you mean, or they can just exit out of it. So let's say if I'm going to say, hey, that's cool, thank you for saying that. That's great. Back here on your teacher page, you'll see right away, it pops up here as a smiley face. Maybe for Corbin, you want to send, right now it says you can't, he's probably been idle for a minute or two. That's why it says you can't actually send him a message, because the system's not sure if he's still on or not. He's not gone idle yet, because idle means he's been idle for 5 minutes or more, but that's why that indicator is like that. So that's a pretty cool feature that you can use in the messaging system.
So there you go, guys. That is Live Classroom. Hope it helps. Keep on playing with it. That was probably more in depth than I was hoping it would be, but hopefully that'll be helpful, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Later. Bye-bye.